Evo Cups. 512 players, 1 winner. Typically you're looking at 9 to 10 hours of gameplay, and for some, it was 9 to 10 hours of Lord Nightmon and Rookie Rush. This is DIGI-PANDA back with an update, and today it's not going to be Adventure Cup footage or anything like that. I'm still working on producing that and trying to find the right type of edit for the games. Today I go over online tournament etiquette. Why? Let's just say there was some cheating going on in the tournaments this last weekend. Footage used with permission from RamenRider, a competitive player with some Sharingan eyes. In this video, it starts off as a normal game between Rookie Rush and Black Toolbox. Here's the biggest issue I have at the beginning of this game. The player on the left doesn't have his hands clearly on screen the whole time. Even the way he hatches his eggs. He doesn't flip the egg with his left hand, rather he reaches with his right hand and obscures his hand completely. Not necessarily huge, but let's keep watching. On the right, I'm going to start a card count, and like any card game, you may mentally start counting cards played versus evoed. For some individuals, this is another layer to the card game. For some, you might not even count, but just ask your opponent for the number of cards in hand. And every time I've played against a Rookie Rush player, I highly recommend this tactic. So after one evolution, one draw, and a hard play Falcomon, the Rookie Rush player should be at 4 cards total in hand. For this, you may hear me use terms like +0, +1, and -1. When digivolving, you use a card but also draw a card. Therefore, it's a +0. Playing a card outright is a -1. Drawing for the beginning of your turn would be +1. Other cards like Pulsemon, depending on where your security is, could be +0 as well. I'll skip RamenRider's plays because the Rookie Rush player is the main person I want to look at here. Notice again how he picks up his hand. It leaves off screen. Draw for turn +1, so his hand returns to 5 cards in hand. Here, RamenRider requests for the camera to be tilted, but it's allegedly mounted to the monitor. Which could be a thing, but you could also use a webcam or, move your stuff up. Carefully watch his opponent's right hand after pushing the cards up. His right hand disappears as if it's shifting and looking for something. Afterwards, 2 more rookies are played from hand, -1 for each, meaning by the end of this turn, he should have 3 cards in hand. On the next turn, he draws for turn, +1, and again, instead of using his left hand to raise, he curls his entire right arm around to raise an egg, at which point, the hand disappears again. On pausing this video, you can vaguely make out 4 cards. For those curious on RamenRider's hand size, he's evoed 3 times and played 1 card at cost. Therefore, his relative hand size is currently 6. Remember, he's player 2, so he gets a +1 on his first turn to 6. Evos 3 times, which is +0, and next turn he +1 to 7. But since he hard plays the Warumunzimon, he goes back to 6 cards in hand. His opponent again digivolves, +0 staying at 4 cards. After Ultimate Flare, the right hand moves in and out of the zone again, before playing Otamamon, a -1 to 3 cards, and a Pulsemon, which is a +0. On the next turn, draws for turn, +1 to 4 again, evos to Teruimon, +0, still 4 cards. Immediately after the turn, you see the right hand move off screen completely. And then you can clearly see a card that enters from outside of his hand to play. This is the Blinding Ray. Blinding Ray is a -1, so he should be at 3 cards at this point. At the slight moment where he shuffles his hand, you can vaguely make out what looks like 4 cards. Again, the pause, and you see his right hand again disappear. But wait, there are now 5 cards in his left hand? He Blinding Rays again, another -1, so he should be at 2 cards at this point. And at this point, RamenRider requests again for both hands to be present on screen. And looking at that big stack in his opponent's hand, Ramen's suspicious and calls for a judge. If you want to check out the resolution of this entire situation, check out RamenRider's Twitch video in the description below. There are other hilarious moments in which, as the video progresses, Ramen's opponent goes up another card between calling a judge and the judge coming in which he now has 6 cards. Even more hilarious, in counting his deck for the judge, his hand magically goes to 5 again. For many players, you may hear them ask, cards in hand? The reason for this question is to count possible answers to major plays that could cost you the game. For a deck like Rookie Rush, this is a little easier considering Rookie Rush variants typically play out their hand. When playing with Nidhoggmon or black variant decks that have massive board wipes, making your big plays is always best when their hand size is small. This is primarily because with 2 to 3 cards in hand, they can't feasibly build another big board and control the board state with Spiral Masquerade, one of their primary board removals. Setup is one of the most crucial things for playing Digimon online. Because of this, if you find yourself playing against someone and you can't see their entire board, both hands as they're playing or even the slightest red flag, call a judge. The judges are there to help you. You may feel like you're a bother or you're going to be raining on someone's day. But you have to ignore that feeling because in online play, you should have transparency on if your opponent's hands are doing anything shady, and a clear idea of the board state. These are fundamentals that prevent you from making the best decision when playing. I hope this video informed you on habits and red flags to look for when playing Digimon in an online setting. Leave a like and subscribe for more future Digimon content. While my wife and I wrap up producing the Adventure Cup, I'll start rolling out some BT6 content. After all, it's almost here. As always, this is DIGI-PANDA. Logging out.